All right, all right, all right. I am back doing another midday live. And it doesn't want to work today. Of course not. You're going to have to give me a second while I get this to go over to the Facebook group, which I'm doing right now. It's actually coming along not bad. Okay. Yeah, I'm live. I'm live, Mike. Okay. Great. Beezer, I'm going to look into this thing about the lumber industry. Green. Do we take advantage of USA? Go. 90% of all lumber consumed in the U.S. is produced in the U.S. 10% is produced in Canada and shipped to the U.S. U.S. imported 50% of Canada's softwood lumber production and 80% softwood lumber imports came from Canada. Canada has a comparative advantage in lumber production, specializing, according to comparative advantage, United States produces 1,000 footballs and it produces 8 tons of lumber. What does that mean? Yeah, I'm live over here, guys, so you can come on over, check it out. I'm just going to talk tariffs for the whole show, but I will talk with the chat, of course. I got to put a thing on the Facebook group. I think I got everything here I need. I hope I do. Okay. Gotta spell it right. Post. Okay, so I've let everybody know on the Facebook group. I have to go back and see if Mike's done yet. He is? The experts say immediately. We're going to immediately see the impacts of the tariffs. I don't like it. Hey, Werlin, how are you, brother? Thanks for coming over. Okay, I'm going to kill Mike's theme song. Thank you, Mike, for sending everyone my way, brother. I always appreciate it. Last Friday, I talked with the chat for over an hour. It was awesome. Just me and the chat talking away. Did ask questions and I'd answer them. Or they'd make comments and I'd respond to them, either or. So this affects me directly. When will Canada see the impact of U.S. tariffs? This expert says immediately. Well, that's me. Well, that's crazy. So from the auto sector to the grocery store shelves, Metro Morning's Dave Common spoke with an economics professor about the wide-ranging impacts of Canada can expect from U.S. tariffs. So where are they? Come on, tell us. We have a video. Oh, I don't like videos. I never know if I'm infringing on somebody else's bull.
What's this going to mean for us?
Patients make a choice between wanting whiter teeth or having sensitivity protected teeth. Now they don't have to make that decision. New Sensodyne Clinical White gives
Okay, come on with your stupid Sensodyne bullshit.
Sensitivity protection.
If you guys got sensitive teeth, you got to use what this guy says.
Us.
There we go. So we got this
it's going
guy.
to be a big economic disruption. We have the potential to see job loss in Ontario
Can we
for
hear it?
things that we sell to the United States, and also prices of goods that come in might be subject to retaliatory tariffs will also become more expensive.
The auto industry, the
So we're getting
bedrock
it on
of
both
this
ends.
province's economy, 144,000 jobs directly tied to it. We've heard from the head of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association in the past on this show saying those jobs could go away. The assembly lines could shut down. What do you make of that possibility?
I think it's absolutely a possibility. The auto sector is a sector that crosses national boundaries. We see parts going back and forth multiple times before they become a car. I think the auto sector is really going to be ground zero for a lot of this economic disruption.
I worked at one of these
plants
plants
for
a short
what
minute.
kind of
I hated
products
it.
we're going to end up paying more for soon, and how soon?
Right. So there's a tranche of goods that are immediately going to be subject to tariffs, and that the list of those goods has been published on Government of Canada websites. And that's agricultural goods, meats, alcohol, certain things that have very geographic concentration in the United States, where the federal government is hoping to inflict some economic pain on specific places to try and catch President Trump's attention.
So the things that are in store.
Okay, I've had enough of them guys. I don't care about them guys. So basically, the way the car industry works around Southern Ontario, which is where I'm based, is, there's a factory in Detroit and there's another factory across the river in Windsor, and the car will go back and forth between the two countries, or one of the parts, say, will go back and forth between the few countries a bunch of times before the car's finished. So what's going to happen, I think, in Canada, around the GM plant that I worked at, there's a bunch of feeder plants that'll make small parts for that particular vehicle that's being assembled in that feeder plant or in that car plant. And the feeder plants are all generally around the big car plant. They'll make the roof liner, and they'll make the seat belts, and they'll make the dashboards, and maybe the brake pad, whatever, right? So if they bring all the auto stuff back over across the bridge to America, a lot of these feeder plants will inevitably close down, and which is funny because a lot of them are owned by that Frank Stronach guy, and they're part of that Magna company, and that guy's a bit of a greasy fucker too. So, but they're trying to kill us. That's the part I hate. Is they're trying to kill us because he made an offhand comment about absorbing Canada, and then all of a sudden he thought it was a good idea. So this is the part that I'm more concerned about. This this affects me personally. So the U.S. tariffs are going to slow the pace of home building in Canada, which I don't understand why. You would think if our lumber is not going to the States anymore, our lumber prices in Canada would drop. And that's part of the reason the housing's slow, because right after COVID, all the building materials prices went up along with the interest rates, and they stopped building homes. And that's what keeps a good percentage of our middle class working here in Canada, is new home builds. So let's see if I can figure out why Canada building industry says trade war with the United States will slow down the pace of home construction. The Home Builders Association will have muted impact on the industry. They said slow down just because the economy is going to slow down as a whole. I don't know if I agree with that guy on that one. And then that's another thing. So it says the retaliatory tariffs that we put on American products could include some crucial construction material. I do know, because a friend of mine used to drive trucks through the States. They'll drag a whole transport truck full of shingles from, I think he said he used to go pick them up in Georgia. So I don't think we have like a shingle factory in Canada, or not that I'm aware of. So a lot of our material comes from down there too. I think the Canada and America need to equal trade. If we buy $1 million, Canada buys $1 billion. So Blair, the only answer to that is the reason there is a trade deficit between the two countries is it meant that you guys bought more stuff from Canada than we bought from you, which only makes sense because you've got, you've got 10 times the population than we do, right? So if we got 60 million people, which I think we do, then that means America's got 600 million people, which I think you do. I think those numbers are kind of correct. So you know what I mean? So that's why you buy more products from Canada. It's a numbers thing because you have more people there. So if we're selling you guys milk and you guys are selling us eggs, we're not going to buy as many eggs as you guys are going to buy milk. Hey, redneck side. Oh shit, I haven't mentioned you for a few videos. Thanks for popping in the chat, bro. I'll mention you up on the next video. I missed you. Now there's another one that somebody said in here that that isn't a fair trade agreement. But I think the fair trade agreement, Claire, was supposed to be whatever we trade between our two countries is supposed to cross the border without any tariffs or duties, right? So I don't know who started putting duties and tariffs on. Mike said he saw a thing in yesterday. He mentioned that Canada broke the trade agreement first. I've Googled the hell out of that claim. I can't find it. I'm not saying it makes it not true, but a lot of these things the GOP comes up with, one guy says it because he thinks it's true, and then 4 other people say it, and all of a sudden it's the truth. The whole situation is nonsense. My opinion is a bunch of chess beating for politics. Yeah, probably. Canadian truckers need to stay in the right lane on I-75 in Michigan. Hey, listen, bro. The Canadian truckers aren't Canadian anymore. I know where you're coming from. You know, on the 401, if you drive through Ontario, you know the 401, right? So the 401 goes from Detroit over to, or from Michigan, from Windsor, sorry, and it goes into Quebec in the highway that takes you to Montreal. But there'll be 3 lanes of road, and the first 2 will have a semi trucks in it. So it's kind of bullshit. I don't know where we get our drywall fund from, Dwayne. I don't know about those kind of building materials. Like I say, we drag shingles all the way up from the southern states. It wouldn't surprise me if we drug drywall up from the states too. We got eggs from a neighbor, one of Lee's friends. Yeah, or go to any farmer will sell them at the end of their driveway usually, right? What we got? I hope it's a good summer for riding, David. I really do. We got Warland. My honest man, we need to close the southern border. Bet the folks who come into the country, but they have free trade back and forth. K2 so is right. Already riding? Oh, you bugger. You're in BC, aren't you? I saw some people in Alberta that rode on the weekend too. No, I don't drive in Canada. Okay. I wish I could ride again. Giant gypsum mines in Southern California desert. Okay. So that's why it's called gypsum board too. Okay, I get that. I didn't know that. I'm not talking about Canada. I'm talking about football. Football. So what else did I want to talk about? That I think. So here's see. I do some of my own conspiracy theories. I still think after COVID, they really opened up the lines on getting that Fetty stuff into our countries, both of them. You know, and I think. I don't talk much time. You want to chill. Okay, that's cool. Redneck side. I think that's China's second wave. I rent some rooms out in my home to some people that are in that situation, and you know when they're not sleeping, they're normal. They're good people, and I think that they're gonna wipe out a whole fucking generation of us. Papa Penguin, free trade is never free. It always costs the middle class of the bigger economy and pays out to the middle class of the smaller economy. I wonder why it works out that way. That I didn't I don't know why it would work out that way, Papa. I would think if everyone's working, free trade should be good for everybody, but it's when the work starts slowing down and all that shit. So, a white Canadian on the radio told me he's very unprofessional, forcing all the truck drivers to go around him on the left and risk getting the ticket that he's very unprofessional. So he was going too slow and he made you guys pass him on the left. When there was a drywall shortage in the U.S. years ago, we started buying it from Mexico and it just fell apart. I believe that. You ever get that shitty drywall and your hammer, it's when you strike the nail and the hammer slips off and the whole fucking corner falls apart? I get that. Jobs move. Yeah, they do. He started spurging. What does spurging mean, bro? Does that mean he was dying? His truck was dying? Okay, COVID was released by China to kill their own that were old and sick and couldn't contribute to the communist way of life. But why did they let it come all around the world, Glare? When we saw it happening in China, because I'm a news hawk, I'm sure you guys kind of figured that out about me by now. I'm a news hawk. So when we watched everybody in China and they're locking down 8 million population cities, why do they keep letting them on the airplanes? And why do we keep accepting them off of those airplanes at our end? That's the part I don't get. So I always said square tires. Yeah, that's from South Park, isn't it, Steve? You know what I mean? It was almost like it was in symphony with the other countries. And I've always said that because before COVID, both of our economies were chugging. The stock market was going up, up, up. Everyone was had a fat paycheck, and it was a pretty nice deal. All of a sudden, they had COVID. They locked us up for a while. They gave us a little bit of money, and then everything went up in price, and our economy shit the bed. Both of them at the same time. That's why I think it was sent to us from over there. And now, like I say, I honestly believe that Fetty is their second wave because now they've wiped out a whole nother generation of working class men and women. And these people aren't going to come out of it, right? I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I've seen it. I live with these people. They're good people when, like I say, when they're not doing whatever that shit is. But it doesn't help them. Thanks for coming, Warland. I appreciate you, brother. Much love. Freezing global economy has consequences, some of which we may not be able to measure for another 10 years or so. So I understand that. So you're talking about freezing the global economy during COVID, right? Because everything stopped during COVID. I know that. That's why we sell our cars in the US and they sell theirs here. That's how you make more money with the same product. It works sometimes. Problem starts with throwing all products. So yeah, Dave, my dad was in the car business. He was a mechanic my whole life, and he bought and sold cars. And there was some models, I think it was when them stupid PT Cruisers first came out, that he could buy the car in Canada, ship it to the US, and make $15,000 off that vehicle to sell it back to the country where it was manufactured in. And it was all to do with duties and tariffs and money exchange. And him and his buddies flipped a few of them cars down there. That's a nice hit, right? That's killing off me my age. I lost my brother and best friend. Tons of home. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, Steve. I'm talking about guys that. So I came back to the city that I was a one percenter, a gangster in, right? So when I come back and I see all these people I haven't seen for 15 years, man, they've all taken to that stuff, or they've already passed. They're already dead. I couldn't believe it. I was away with trucks for shipping them to the States, asked owners. Yeah, pickup trucks too, wild card. You're right. I know Alberta's got all the pickup trucks in Canada for some reason. I don't know if you're in Alberta, but when they come off lease, a lot of them come to Ontario, but a lot of them go to the States too. Used to hang out with some guys from the Oshawa jam plants in the 90s. Yeah, those guys had it made. They thought that Oshawa plant would never ever close down, and they pulled the rug on them. And GM finally said, "Nope, we're good." The thing that killed me about the trade war and the tariffs and shit is he slapped a big tariff on our steel and aluminum. We've only got 2 cities in Canada that make steel, Sault Ste. Marie and Hamilton. Maybe something in Quebec. I think Quebec is where the aluminum comes from. So he slapped that big tariff on our aluminum and our steel. It's the aluminum I'm worried about. And then he turned around the very following week and he made a deal with some Russian fuckers to buy their aluminum. So I thought that was a fucking horrible deal. You're in Ontario too, bro? Right on. And Dave's in BC. Okay. I'm getting you guys sorted now. And who else do we got? One more dude on here from Canada, don't we? I thought we had one more on here from Canada. But anyways, I'm getting you guys sorted out. Are you guys in the Biker News Canada Facebook group, by the way? It's over 5,000 people in that group all of a sudden. I'm live on it as well this morning. But yeah, if you guys are in any sort of club or anything up here in Canada, riding club, riding association, whatever it is, or even if you know of weekly rides and shit like that, send them into my group because I do the videos, I do the recorded videos about upcoming events, and I'm working on a calendar. I'm going to lay out a calendar over the next couple of weeks here, and everything that I've received, I've received a ton of shit. Facebook's been really good to me, and I'm going to do a calendar for us so you can wake up in the morning and you can know where you're riding that day, man. I think it'll be a good idea. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to show you the Biker News Facebook group. I can't believe it. It's gone huge. It blew up. It blew up. So I got 5.7 thousand members now, man. I'm so happy about that. I've had some friends help me with that. And I can't thank everyone enough who's joined and is helping. So all these kind of calendars, you send me these calendars, anything that's done in Canada, I'll get it in the video and I'll get it on the calendar. Sorry, these posters, these digital posters. So send the posters. I'll put them in videos upcoming to the event. I'll offer the event organizer an interview on here. And like, I'm getting people from Saskatchewan. I'm getting people from one side of the country to the other, from Trenton. There's another bike show, Motorcycle Day in Forest Heights. So that's the shit I'm doing on the Facebook page. And of course, these videos always drop on the Facebook page. So if anyone wants to get in on that, feel free. 5,000 people watching live. No, bro. No, I got 5,000 people in the group. I won't have that many watching the live, I don't think. But I'm getting there, bro. I'm really working on it. Thanks, Wildcard. Oh, and I promoted your content. Oh, okay. You're in the bad. You're bad examples. Nice. Thanks for coming, Wildcard. And make sure you tune in to Mike in the morning. He's before me. Thank you for coming, Steve. I appreciate you, brother. Much love and respect. Canada is sticky from all the maple syrup. What will we do when we have no syrup for our pancakes? Oh, no. Good thing I don't like pancakes. Well, you need syrup for French toast too, brother. Do you guys have French toast in America? I'd love to ride in Canada, but still not allowed. I get that, Dwayne. I can't come the other way either. Thanks for coming, Blair. I appreciate you, brother. Much love. And we've got maple smoke is delish. Yeah. Yeah, you know what you're talking about, redneck. Fucking right. Redneck side motorcycle whips. Make sure you guys go on there if you're new. Use Biker News Canada at the checkout for a sweet 15% discount. Very nice of these guys to do that. So go check him out. We have Texas toast. Will you make Texas toast in a French toast hardwire? You'll dig it. And please tell me you know what French toast is. You do. You guys have to have French toast up there. So like I say, I wasn't really planning on doing a live today. So I want to thank everyone for coming over anyway. I just kind of threw some clothes on and run down here. I think I'll talk one more thing about these tariffs. Maybe not. So they got a number of our companies that are going to be most affected by the tariffs. I think I'll show this one real quick. Just if you're in Canada, it might interest you. I used to work for Enbridge. So they got a chemical company, Enbridge, they pipe all the natural gas all around Canada. Magna, that's that feeder plant place I was telling you about that has all the feeder plants around the assembly plants. And their old guy, that Frank Stronach, he just got accused of some sexual stuff. Another energy company, a mining company, Saputo, they make cheese. They were actually an up-and-coming company, Saputo. A healthcare company, Bombardier, makes airplanes and shit. And then two more energy companies. So the energy companies, their tariffs less than the rest of the tariffs. He already said that. I will, redneck side. When you do those ones, or just keep an eye for the notifications. Oh, we haven't eaten French toast since she was young. Okay. I was gonna hardwire break in a step-by-step how to make French toast. And it's like, no, they fucking know what French toast is. I prefer a cream chicken sandwich. That's a Ohio thing. I'm shocked most people don't know what that is. Your loss. They're awesome. A cream chicken sandwich. So is it a hot chicken sandwich with chicken gravy over it, bro? Heck yeah, BMC. Always good talk. Thank you for coming on. Thanks, Dwayne. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you guys don't mind hanging out with me at the very least. The Midwest cuisine is different. And it's funny, man, because when I was in the club and I could ride through the states and all that, the guys from down there would take me to fucking Waffle House, man. So I don't know. It's sometimes in Greektown we would go to a nice restaurant in Detroit. But yeah. Holy fuck. So, anyways, yeah, there's an economist from Canada saying that if the tariff thing goes bad, it's probably going to send us into a recession up here in Canada, which I think is what Trump wants. He wants a bargaining chip. I think from an offhanded remark about becoming the 51st state, he's taking it serious now. So Sundays at 7. Okay, Redneck Side. I'll be there, bro. Thanks, David, for coming. I appreciate you. You have a BAC of at least 0.1 for Waffle House food here. Yeah, well, exactly, man. I couldn't believe it. We're going to Waffle House. The other one was on the way back from Bike Week, we stopped in one of those dry states. Must have been in the Bible Belt. And they had full nude strippers and no booze. It was crazy. Shredded chicken with gravy and thickener like crackers. I'm using some potatoes, neither cream of chicken. Right. Okay, that was what I thought it was, like basically a hot chicken sandwich. Because I made hot beef sandwiches last night. Ryan Davidson, how's everyone doing? Thanks for popping in, Ryan. And Redneck Side, sometimes be late because I'm still learning all this stuff. I get you. That's how I do. When I start these lives, there's a little glitch at the first 5 minutes while I get it to come through the Facebook group. I just can't help it. Yeah, so that's what they were doing, Pop. I don't know if we could bring our own booze. We didn't hang around to find out. We just were sitting there with a fizzy drink in our hand, watching some girl off the trailer park take her shit off. And no, we just split. Get back on the highway, boys. Let's get back to Detroit. But man, that was a good trip, man. That was a really good trip. I jumped in the vehicle with the brothers from the Detroit chapter and we rolled on down the I-75. And to find out we had a clubhouse down there too, I knew. And you know, join in the fun of that clubhouse. What a good time. But I never went up on the main dragger much during Bike Week. We had a couple bars that we hung out in. I think Sharky's maybe was the name of one. And instead of the clubhouse at the compound mostly. So yeah, so that's what they say. These tariffs, if they last a long time, what they've done in Canada is anyone that was going to build a big factory or invest into a large investment into some businesses, they put everything on hold for now in Canada. So that means that our GDP is not going to raise. It's going to exactly. You know what I mean? So that'll send us into a recession because our GDP won't have any gains, and our unemployment will have gains. But I still think it's going to end up with lower interest rates for Canada. So if we play it right, we might be able to get some pluses from it. So, Papa, you know it's a classy joint when the chairs are plastic or bolted to the floor and they only have plastic cups. That was the kind of place it was in. And they poured the soda pop into the plastic cup. You couldn't take the container with you. So if I come visit Canada, I need to work on a Canadian accent so I don't get jumped by a bunch of Canadian American haters, or at least my health card will be free if I get in. Well, exactly right. If you get beat up in Canada, we can get you to the hospital. No, we got the same accent, Hardware. I think actually you and I have a different accent, and you're not that far away from me. You're only one Great Lake away from me, bro. That's surprising, but it's an area thing, right? They say people from out west don't sound the same. Yeah, is the people from out east. Now, if you go to the east coast of Canada, that's 100% true. But do you remember that? Keep on trucking, bro. K squared. Is that K squared or K cubed squared? When we had the Hoser movies and all that stuff, what was that? SCTV, John Candy, and all those guys came from that. That's where most of Saturday Night's Live's first lineup came, was from a Canadian show called Second City TV, but it was full of Canadian actors. But Second City TV originated in Chicago. So how are you going to do that with free trade? They call you K2. Okay, bro. Good to meet you. I don't think I've met you before on the chats and stuff. I appreciate you coming along for the ride. Like I say, when I do a chat, I don't really have it in the middle of the day. I don't have it planned in advance. I Google some crap on what news stuff is interesting to me, and I go with it. If I would come visit, I have to check and see if I can get a passport. I bought a camper last weekend. Good for you, bro. Good for you. Come up here and get into the Algonquin Park. It's wicked up here. Chinos and apples. That's what you haul? I can talk smack about Canada, but you guys are cranked out some good entertainers. We have, yep. And that was, like I say, that thing about Second City and SNL and Second City originating in Chicago, but then John Candy and Dan Aykroyd got involved. And then the thing in Chicago wound down, so they brought it to Canada. They had it on our TV. The show started with a bunch of people throwing their TVs out their windows. That's how the whole show started. I never got into Tom Green. You like Tom Green? I think I liked him until he married Drew Barrymore. And then he tried to be serious. And a face like him, no sense trying to be serious. Goals and assists, Genos and apples. Oh, okay, brother. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch. Yeah, we gave you Nickelback. But we also gave you the Tragically Hip, which is funny. And Theory of a Dead Man. They're a good band, too. Because Tragically Hip, when I used to watch them before they had a record deal in the what they call it, the bars that have the bands that aren't signed yet, the independent bands. Music can't back here. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh, he's back in Canada. That's where he belongs. Good to get his Canadian. So, anyways, the Tragic Hip. I used to watch them guys. Then when I was in college, I booked them into my college to play a pub, and they were wicked cool. And then I looked at their tour numbers down through the States, and the only places in the States they sold out was New York City, New Orleans, and LA. And the rest of America didn't have a fucking clue who the Tragically Hip was. I'm using hockey talk right now. Yeah, man. See, I never played hockey very far into my life. Oh, Papa doesn't like Tom Green either. Like Tom Green more different than his old shit. Okay, because his old shit, he was really childish. That's what I didn't like. We didn't have Tom Cruise, bro. We had Keanu Reeves, though. He's from Canada originally. You guys can keep Tom Cruise and you can keep Scientology. That's what I don't ever understand about in America. How do they keep Scientology? How does that place get to be called a religion, a church? Ooh, you can get me off on religion. I'll go right off on a tangent about religion. Yeah, man. That guy's so cool, bro. I've seen all these stories that he, and his sister, I think, had cancer. His old lady died, or his kid died. That guy had a bunch of shit. Well, see, that's it, K2. I am a felon. But yeah, and then all them Wick movies, and he's humble. Yeah, that's him. Very humble. So I'll tell you the story about being a Canadian hockey kid from when I was a kid. So I started high school in 1980, so we're talking about in the 70s. So we're in the 70s. My dad's a mechanic, has been his whole life, or my whole life anyway. We moved to a small town. And these kids can play, man. Yep. Thanks, American Uncensored. Thanks, bro. So I rode the Pine all the time. Riding the Pine sucks. And then you end up kind of getting bullied and shit. So my dad, because he was a mechanic, was also a drunk. So he started coming to my games hammered and screaming at the fucking coach. So I quit. That was more embarrassing than riding the pine, right? Okay, I think I'm going to let you guys go. Scientology basically blackmailed the IRS successfully, one of the wildest sections of American history. One day I'm going to do a deep dive into Scientology, Papa. Hopefully you're on the chat, because that religion confuses the fuck out of me. They it's a cult. It's a cult. I'll say it, because I'm not American. I'm not monetized yet. But yeah, they're a cult. But Papa, yeah. Oh, did he grow up in Canada? I didn't know that, Hardwire. Papa, Hardwire, Redneck Side, K2, all you guys that stuck with me, and Dwayne too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you guys go. And so that's why they're litigious. Well, I know that's why I made sure, I'll say that about them now before I'm monetized, but I might have to go back and scrub that. But thanks for coming along for a quick chat with me this morning, guys. I appreciate it. I do. I got a live interview coming on Thursday. Elon does have a Canadian citizenship, and he's running U.S. Treasury, and he needs to be deported. 54 Wishbone. So 54 Wishbone, are you Canadian? Thanks, Dwayne. You too, brother. If you're Canadian, you're talking what almost everyone in Canada says. I don't understand why he's there, but that's the Americans' prerogative for now. Thanks, Papa. Much love and respect, eh? But yeah, I'm not going to jump on a new subject. 54 Wishbone. Let's talk about Elon tomorrow. After Mike's show, I'll come live again. I might have some online training. If it's not tomorrow, it's the next day. But again, gentlemen and ladies and everyone who came along, thanks for coming along. I love and respect each and every one of you. Okay, Wishbone. We'll get an Elon, if not tomorrow, the next day. All right. You guys enjoy your afternoon out there. Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow.